Well, good day and welcome to the program. It is Countywide. Brad Miller with you, and we're happy to welcome into our studio today Mike Jacobson. And Mike is one of the coordinators, almost a solo act on this, but with some help is able to put on a big tournament. And it's coming up again just a few weeks away, January 29th and 30th, the second annual BeneVet bowling tournament. We say BeneVet, a play on the word benefit. And yes, it's for the benefit of veterans in our community. Mike himself is a veteran of the Vietnam War era. And this is a cause that is very close to his heart, and he'll share with us some of the reasons why he's gotten involved. But most importantly today, what we want is for you, the folks in our listening audience, our viewing audience, to also get involved and to find out why it's important to help the men and women coming back from service, and what you can do to help out either through this tournament, through some of the organizations in our community, or just reaching into your pocketbook. There's a lot of different ways to become involved. So we say, Mike, good day to you, sir.
Good morning.
Happy to have you come in studio. We talked a couple weeks ago, and you just kind of sold us on this thing. It's like we're doing this benefit called BeneVet bowling tournament. I know our own Julie Page was very involved in it last year, and it worked pretty well, it sounds like. And so we thought, well, we got to have this guy come in here and talk today about this program. It comes up. Let's do real quick the nuts and bolts of the tournament itself. Did I get the dates right? 29,
yes, sir.
30? Okay.
Yes, you did.
This will be where?
This will be at Cliff Castle Casino, and we will have 3 events each day. The first event, check-in, is at 10:30. It's what we call the Cosmic event. It's to bring in family members with their children or kids that like the Cosmic Bowl. They like
a lot of fun.
Yeah, they like those lights going off and all of the different things. And so that's our first event to kick it off. The second event starts at 3. And check-ins at 2:30, and that's what we call the All Mixed Up.
Okay.
And that's just a crazy fun event. I mean, it sounds like bowling tournament, like, oh, these guys are really good bowlers and stuff, but that's not the intent. It's to come down, enjoy the community, support a veterans cause for everybody. Anybody that's ever had a person in the service, anybody that knows a person in the service, can come down and support this, and it's just a great cause. The second event, which is the All Mixed Up, to give you an idea, we bowl 1 regular game. Then we bowl a no-tap game. And the no-tap game is 9 pins as a strike. And then we have a baker's double and a scotch double, which...
You've made it a lot of fun.
Which is just one person bowls 1 ball, and if you don't pick up the strike, then the other person has to pick up your spare, and it just turns into people just having a great time and having fun.
It sounds like kind of planned chaos.
It is. It is.
And it sounds like a fun way to do it.
It certainly is.
It'll be a lot of fun, but the reason for this tournament couldn't be more serious, and that's to help out. I think I hopefully said it right in our introduction. Our returning service people, and veterans from previous conflicts.
My intention, I'm a Purple Heart combat vet, and I go over to the VA hospital for treatment. So in going over there, we found that there was a hole that needed to be filled where, say, like the Combat Veterans Rehab Center, where they actually go in and do their therapy. We asked them what they needed. They said, well, we're kind of strapped for space, but we could use a flat screen TV and a Wii with balance beams in their 2 facilities, so that the returning combat veterans with IED problems, balance problems that needed to go through therapy could get those, but they could not order them or get them through government sources.
They don't have the money.
They don't have the money. They cannot respond to a need quick enough. By the time they requisition something, it's like the screw for the space shuttle. It might be $680 and it was 9 cents to produce. So in order to cut all of that, never know where the money goes out of everything about this tournament, we wanted to set it up so that it was a legitimate 100% benefit. And that's just to give you an idea what we do. The American Legion Post 93, everybody that wants to join the tournament, it's $15 per event, except for the $20 singles last event, which I didn't explain yet. and $5 of that money would have gone to prize money. But the first two events is $15, and that $15 gets you a free T-shirt, gets you the bowling. We've got raffles, we've got all kinds of stuff to bring money in extra, and we really need people to come out and bowl.
Right.
That's the thing. We've got the money covered. Like I said, the American Legion does the books. They're a 501(c)(3). If you were a sponsor, Sally Fine over at the VA hospital gives you a tax donation number for your contribution. So it's a tax write-off. And the way we've set it up, you just mail the checks to me. I give them to the American Legion, they deposit it in their account, and then when I find things over at the Veterans Hospital that they need, like last year, you've got a list of the things we provided.
Right.
Say the PTSD clinic needed a sewing machine, they can't get the type of sewing machine they need for the PTSD clinic, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and we bought them the sewing machine they needed.
Right.
They had one computer at the library for the whole 110,000 people who go to the Veterans Hospital.
Right.
So we bought a new computer to add for their research.
And what you're telling me now and what we talked about the other day, there's this big bloated bureaucracy and it takes forever. And all the jokes Mike has assured me about government are true, moving slow, if moving at all. You're kind of a 1-2-man show with some other assistants.
Nikki Miller.
Can move very nimbly and get in and talk face-to-face, one-on-one, pick up the phone and get it done.
That's correct.
And that's what appealed, I think, to us to have you on the program today. But even before that, I want you to share, if you would, some of the things we talked about the other day. I just wonder, I felt this way, and I wonder how many of our listeners are going to feel this way. Our service people go out, they give their all, and they come back and they get everything they need. They're taken very well care of. And you can tell me from your own personal experience and in the years since you left the service that that's not true. That without these kinds of tournaments and different kinds of organizations, outreach, people volunteering, different kinds of resources, honestly, it seems like it might be almost shameful the way some veterans are treated. Or not treated, kind of the lack of.
Unfortunately, when you get into a government bureaucracy, you have to have funding. And with the World War II vets and everybody else still on the pay, my dad and everybody else in that era,
right.
Korean vets, all of these people are out there vying for that escalating health care cost, which they don't fund. They'll fund the war, but they won't fund extra money for the VA system. So it's kind of one of those things where as people die off, other people are allowed in kind of thing. And that's the way it was in Vietnam for me.
Right.
I came back with a 30% rating. It took 33 years for me to realize anything from the VA of acknowledgement. And after being on the Agent Orange list, after having severe post-traumatic stress syndrome for, 17-year-old kid goes over there and in the Verde Valley, and you come back and you're not the same kid anymore. You're not treated the same in society. You're not given the same job opportunities, and sometimes it's real hard to recognize the goodness at that point in your life, because then that's one of the problems why we have such a high suicide rate, and that is a shameful sin in this country.
It's unbelievable, Mike. I hate to do it, but we have to take a break. I have to interrupt you there. We'll talk more about it. Mike Jacobson, our guest today, and we're talking about a big benefit coming up on the 29th and 30th, but more on the reasons for this benefit, how you could become a big part of it, either through this event coming up or in some other way that you might choose. But we want you to get involved. We'll take a short break. It's Countywide. We're back after this.